It's the beef, baby. What's the beef, chief? I'm your host, Baron Marf, and I'm joined as always by the anger monster that is Angrylink. How you doing, buddy?
Trying to stay calm, composed, so I can get my words out properly. But other than that, yeah, getting by.
It's a contentious one you're raising this week because it's a what if and what will never be.
In my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Kind of moment. But yeah, I was looking through my backlog of games and stuff that I don't play anymore, sort of maybe having a clear out. I was just looking at games that I thought that should have been great, that weren't.
Oh man, so there are so many, and one which always springs to mind for me: WWE All Stars, big arcadey characters, big over the top. It
was, Acclaim's last game before they lost the WWE license.
Yeah, it was get it out quick, and you know what? It was a great game, but you couldn't match up with your mates to play online co-op, and it was just the biggest flaw ever.
What console was this for?
360.
So the original Xbox, if it was for that, you could have understood.
Yeah,
because obviously online multiplayer had only just started to take hold, but 360, this was their cornerstone.
And it was well into the era as well. That was a scary thing. So they should have done it. Yeah,
because I remember you and Panasonic were big on that.
Oh man, we loved it, but it was just ruined by the fact that you couldn't actually play online with each other. It was nuts.
That is, yeah.
But anyway, that's just what bubbles up in my mind. So I mean,
I've got quite a list to wade through, so I'm just going to kind of pepper in a few things about each that I didn't like.
Yeah, hit it, man, hit it.
We're going to be here all day otherwise. So, top one for me, that the first one that I looked at was The Division.
Ooh, contentious.
I'm just disappointed with how it panned out. I know it's not a bad game. It's not like it was terrible and it wasn't worked on, but it was just some of the things about it just weren't right for me.
What?
I was always a couple of weeks behind because the way the pay fucking fell and all of that, I wasn't straight on it. I hadn't pre-ordered and whatnot.
So that means you were never doing the damage everybody else was.
Well, this is it. This was the main contentious issue for me, was the fact that I couldn't really play with high level players. I couldn't go into the dark zone with them. They could come into the dark zone with me, but it wouldn't be worth their time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just that some of the systems, like the netcode, how many bugs there were, I think it was just one of those games that had such great premise and promise. Like some of the systems with the echo and how you picked up on how shit went down, they were great.
Man, that's brutal because I really like The Division, but I get your point.
I did like it though. That's the thing, and it was just
not quite there. Just not quite there.
But if they'd have just tweaked a few systems, because the one thing that it was always deemed as, it was never a single player experience. It was always, you've got your crew. Let's go down and let's fucking sort this shit out.
Let's settle this shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, and there was the things that, because it was a Tom Clancy game, or Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy.
There was that sort of realism scope that they've always gone for with their games that was missing for that from me a little bit. But it's, that's a minor niggle aside.
Yeah. For me, The Division was a great game, but the scary thing is I refer to it in past tense.
Yeah,
it was a great game.
Yeah.
I'm done with it now. They need to do something special. It's been off my radar as well. I don't really see anything coming to light saying The Division's doing this. I know it has happened, and I know it's been shouted about that week, but
they have been.
It's
releasing...
not grabbed me. It's not like GTA updates where you're like, oh shit, I've got to get back on that game.
I've got to spend more money on that.
Yeah, damn it.
So yeah, and it was kind of just to summarise it, it's just typical Ubi. And it was just kind of not fun.
Not quite there, yeah. Typical Ubi.
Another one I looked at. This was going way back now.
Back in the day.
Yeah, this is our granddad kind of stuff, really.
I love the way you're still moaning about it. Yeah, go.
Superman 64. Well, it started as Superman 64, and then it just generally became Superman games. Because you look back, really far back, even to the Mega Drive and stuff like that, they're all wank, and they've just got really poorly written. The premise of them's stupid, and we were talking about it. You've got 80 years of Superman. You can go through. You can take bits and bobs of what you need. Okay, on the 64, you've got the restrictions of the 64. Okay, let's get him into the bottled city. there's your restriction. You can't get out until you've beaten this person. He's got something of yours that you need. He's got some Kryptonian fucking hold over you.
I think for me, the biggest thing with the Superman games, and what is sort of summarises just how I feel about them, is if you think of the quantity of games which have been released, and because of the IP that it is, people are interested in it. And everybody's looking for, when do I get to play Superman, flying around, being super strong, jumping, super speed, super laser eyes, when do I get to actually have this experience? And in every instance, when they've looked at the reviews or the gameplay or whatever, they've not seen it there, and therefore you've never bought it. Yeah, so nobody's felt that love.
Well, I think the one thing that all of these developers struggle with is the challenge. Yeah, games have got to be challenging. There's got to be a win state and a lose state. Well, what's the one thing that Superman is? He's OP as fuck. Yeah. He is the first OP motherfucker out there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Just give me OP Superman. I can fly around, someone's attacking me, I can shoot him with lasers. Okay, he's trying to throw firebombs at me, I'll just blow on him and put him out.
I mean, fine, have them with Kryptonian guns or something like that, fine. If you need to do some damage against the character, fine. But, I still want to be able to fly through a building and level it, you know.
Just be Superman.
Yeah.
Be a Superman, not, here's some Kryptonian fog and here's some rings to fly through.
Invisible walls!
And you're in a Matrix style, what the fuck.
Yeah.
They were just wank.
I mean, I played one of them on, the 360.
So that would have been Superman Returns.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a return for me because it was the first time I played a Superman game, and also the last.
Yeah, and I think until Rocksteady make one.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's a case they don't need to make a Superman game, just a Justice League game. So you can have Superman in there.
Oh, man.
Co-op online fucking Justice League game.
Can you imagine if they did it in the same style as Batman, but you've got your 6 or 7 or 8 members of your Justice League?
Well, you've got two player characters with you.
4-player co-op, make it happen.
Yeah.
Kicking the living piss out of loads of people.
Exactly.
Whammy, that'd be huge.
What should have been huge? Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Oh man, this was a fiasco.
I mean, I'm going to summarise this as like a sort of a drama stroke thriller kind of film. And here's the tagline, how a producer would try and sell it to some investors.
This is a pitch, go for it.
It's got lawsuits, there's outsourced monstrosities, bitching between Sega and Gearbox, and a lone man's mission to fix it all. Because it was just horrendous. Like the whole promotion and the hype train for it was
embargoing reviews, brutal.
I think it was possibly the fastest falling, from top shelf or prominent position to bargain bin. I think it was a matter of days.
Yeah, I think it was
let alone weeks.
£55. Did I say 55? I meant $24.99.
For you, my friend, 25?
Please.
15?
Please take it off our hands.
If you buy this game, we'll give you it free. How about I don't buy that game so I don't have to take that one? No? Yeah, so it's just a horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, Alien Colonial Marines was just a shit show of how to release a game, basically.
What could have been and should have been amazing. It's basically Aliens the game. And thankfully, they did it in a sort of fairly clever way. You're the team going in after.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about Ripley. Brilliant. We've avoided that herring. Let's go. No, let's fuck it up.
Yeah. It was a horrible mess.
Yeah.
For me, one of the ones that I think of as just when somebody says, what games weren't very good that should have been, I just immediately jump to Deadpool. I'm like, Deadpool's a fucking mess, man. I mean, that game is horrible. Horrible.
Because you'd have thought, though, as well, it had all the hallmarks to be pretty good. Because I think it was at High Moon Studios.
Yep.
They did the Transformers, which were pretty damn good games. Solid games. There wasn't a movie.
No.
So it was a completely original story, and they could do whatever they wanted. Great. One problem. Activision.
The scary thing is you look at the voice acting, you look at the storyline.
They had no North, so it was guaranteed to hit.
Yeah, you look at the just the actual comedy, the jokes, where they're taking the character throughout the game. It's all like, actually that could have been absolutely fine. And if you transpose that to a Nathan Drake, Uncharted game, you'd be like, that's amazing. You'd be like, that is phenomenal, absolutely incredible. Problem is the actual gameplay and design of the world, the aesthetics. I I mean, Deadpool looks fine.
But everything else just looks rather ropey, it runs like a pig.
Oh man, it is just horrible thing. So yeah, anyway, Deadpool sucks balls, move on.
Well, both versions, they let it down, didn't they?
Yeah, 360.
Sorry
No, 360 was wank, Xbox One was worse. I mean, we haven't seen that since the days of Prototype, but anyway.
Yet more active. But yeah, Evolve. That's another one.
That didn't evolve at all.
You'd think...
Devolved.
You'd think with the heritage, I mean, it's Turtle Rock, Left 4 Dead, two obviously phenomenal games that they pumped out.
Yeah.
Great co-op shooters. We've got a brilliant idea for a co-op shooter.
Simplistic,
it's 4v1.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, well, again, I think it's summarised quite well with DLC, pre-order fiascos, and THQ crumbling into the sea.
I had this game pretty much day one and tried playing it, loved the idea of it, but there's only two ways you can play it. You're either on the attacking team, you're either on the team or you're the monster, right? Yeah. When I was the monster, I found the monsters slow, uncontrollable, not uncontrollable, just not reactive. Yeah, just messy, hard work. To attack an enemy was a real pig. You didn't really know what was going on. It was all over the shop. To find the enemy was really hard work, blah, blah, blah. So then I tried working on some of the team members. And with that, it was just like, I can't find the monster. There's a wall. I need to jetpack, but I haven't got enough, blah, blah, blah. I was just... and the whole game experience was just like yeah, exactly, that slog of like I don't want to do it. And to me, you think, come on, you made Left 4 Dead 2. The essence was, I'm being fucking chased by zombies, I need to get to this next safe bit quickly, get my friend out there, complete the thing, move on. They understood the essence of what made those games work.
Yeah.
So you'd think with something like this, where you need a 4 guys wrestling around a monster who are, 4 enemies, attackers who are wrestling around a monster who's like batting one off and losing to another. They never got that.
Even then, why not go for a Dungeon Master-esque? Instead of having this big sort of circular thing, it's just a big lane. The boss is at the end. Right, I've got X amount of zombies or monsters or whatever at my disposal. They're low level. You've got a couple of lieutenants or whatever that are a bit tougher, and you throw them at the fucking 4 that are attacking. They've got to wade their way through, and then you get the stomp down at the end. But there's a clear, it's always going to happen. You're creating these avenues of gameplay.
Yeah.
That you have to interactive. Whereas like you could be a cunt you could completely troll the shit out of it. Like if you was an attacker and I'm just going to run away. I'm just not even going to bother. Yeah. I'm just going to hinder you all the way. And it's just, it's little things that it could have been great, but it wasn't. Gameplay
was shoddy, DLC was wank.
And it was just a mess from beginning to end, really.
Yeah.
Really wanted that.
Do you know what? Your next one really surprised me. Really surprised me.
Yeah. I think
you're beefing on
Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Really?
Well, it just didn't have the same verve. It had all of the hallmarks, like the open world side of it. They're going a bit more with the story, so they're expanding that, which was... I enjoyed the first one, don't get me wrong, but it just seemed that they tried to slow everything down. And I was talking about this, like the unlocking of abilities, because the first one you felt that basically they tell you what you can do, but then you find out you can combine stuff, and you yourself were learning how to manipulate and how to get around better.
You just naturally start learning it, don't you?
Yeah, really? That's it. And this one, it's just you just drip fed, just to elongate stuff. So there's no real discovery as such. It's a case of I've got to do this so I can get that, and I've got to keep doing this so I can get that.
Yeah.
And it's just
bit grindy.
Yeah, and it's taken all the fun out of it for me. It's turned it into an Ubisoft game.
Do you know what? I really liked Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
I enjoyed it. It's still everything about the first game that I loved. It's got I love the open freedom of it, and
I found it more accessible than the first one.
Yeah, I'm going to completely agree with that.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of good things about it. Don't get me wrong, but it should have been great.
So how would you have improved it?
Again, the unlocking of abilities stuff I would have got rid of.
Right from the beginning, you've got all your skills.
Yeah, you've everything that you need. You've got access to, so you can just go from like this whole thing of like. Do you remember Crackdown? You could, if you wanted to, go for the last mission straight away. You probably wouldn't do it, more than likely not, but you could. I just love that idea that you just, here is an open world. Do what you want.
So excited for Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
So, for me, one of the ones I wanted to pepper in real quick, a bit of Street Fighter 5. This was a huge disappointment because it's visually a good looking game.
Yeah.
Right? It's made by the right people, i.e. those who've been rocking it for years and did very well on Street Fighter 4.
But they made the benchmark and they've kept the benchmark.
Well, yeah, and they've constantly reset it themselves, where they went to the new engine on Street Fighter 4 and have done a great job with Street Fighter 5 in the sense that they've evolved it marginally, right? But then
potentially maybe we've evolved a fifth, sort of, as opposed to the 4 legs, they've evolved a 5th leg.
Well, they've gone really cash hungry, and they sold out to Sony, so they put an exclusive on Street Fighter 5 being on the PlayStation 4 forever, or for a very long period of time. They also did stupid things like they had a limited character roster, so you spend like 55 quid on a game or whatever it is, and then you get like 8 characters, and they tell you they're going to sell you another 6 ones over the next 6 months.
They've still not got the last character out, have they?
Yeah, and they're not really, and some of them are like, we're putting Guile in there. Guile should have always been in there, that really takes the piss. So, just stuff like that. And, as we all know, the netcode was just wank.
Well, they've had to recently do another beta
on their new netcode.
Yeah. So that kind of says it all really on that behalf.
I just think they really sold out, got too money grabby, and paid the price really.
Yeah. Bring on 6 basically then, or Turbo Ultra Competition Edition.
Super Ultra Friendly Fighters Best Pals Companions Episode 2 EX plus Alpha Beta.
I think really we should just wrap it up because Ubisoft, I was going to start going through a few of their games, but then I've just come to the realisation that it's most open world Ubisoft games.
Yeah.
That all of they just take a great premise and just twist it a bit wrong and squeeze all the fun out of it.
We were talking around. I mean, we were initially
the whole of the Assassin's Creed series for one.
I went Assassin's Creed, and you went, yeah, all of them, and I went, yep.
Well, apart from one, I think Black Flag was the only one for me that had any fun.
But that was because you didn't play Assassin's Creed in Black Flag.
Well, I kind of did, but only so I can unlock better ships and stuff.
Exactly, and then you spend most of your time on the roaring seas.
Yeah, that's it. The only time I actually enjoyed myself was sailing around listening to people singing shanties.
Drop that shanty.
Yeah, exactly.
Booyah. And some great shanties in there.
No, it's good. Really good.
But do you know what? You said something, and I'm paraphrasing it massively here and putting my own poorly worded English into it, but effectively you said to me that, Ubisoft are really good at understanding these great premises. If I said to you like an assassin with a blade up his wrist who's there killing people, dropping out the trees, all this sort of shit, you fall in love with these ideas. You think that sounds amazing, and then they manage to deliver it with like no fun at all. And the thing you said which really hit the nail on the head for me was, you said not only do they take all the fun out of it, but as soon as you come to this realisation, you're stood on top of a tower, and we're poking at Assassin's Creed a little bit here, and you go to your map and you look at the 200 odd collectibles that you've got to go and trudge round and complete this task with this uninteresting game for like some minuscule amount of GGs.
No sort of gameplay benefit.
And I thought, fuck, that's what I feel like every time I play one of their games.
Yeah.
I thought it was just perfectly summarised.
It is the open world. I think Watch Dogs 2, obviously I haven't played it, but that's one of the few that's actually managed to stay quite quirky and fun.
Yeah.
So they've done at least well on one of the several that they've released over the last 14 years.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2, but the first one was
horrendous.
Yeah.
Just a complete letdown. But no, I think that's pretty much a good way to finish it.
Yeah.
Really, because I could sit here all day and rip on more and more, but I think we've got to nail it in the head.
So if you had sort of a final thought to go out towards those who made those shoddy games in the past, is it stay in the industry, sort of shit out? Is it what any final thoughts?
I think, like anything, finding the right people for the job is the main key factor. And don't be afraid to take your time. Because like the Grosh says, I can't remember.
Mm.
Well, he didn't say that, but I can't remember what he said.
Just basically get it right.
Yeah, that's it.
It takes time to get it right. It takes time to mature these products. That's why, you know, people like the GTA team as a whole, you know, Rockstar, they take their time. They get it right.
Yeah, that's it. I don't care if delays bring out better games, or just games that I actually would like to play.
For me, my final thought on this one is, I talked about how much I love WWE, but how it was ruined, and Deadpool and this, that, and another. But I really want to take this opportunity just to say to Ubisoft, sort your shit out.
Bring back the fun.
Yeah, just where's the fun? You know, is it actually fun when you're in the middle of a street and you're getting attacked and you have to run up the rooftops and get to the top of the roofs and move along? Does it feel like, wow, this is really sharp and quick and enjoyable? Or does it feel like, if I can just get over this bit and then just get over that bit?
I'm stuck in this bit again.
Yeah, why am I stood on this one pole? Why won't he? That's what it really feels like. And
I'm dead.
Yeah. There we go, folks. So beefed out, and lots of beef flying around at that. As always, you know, if you like us, love us, show us, give us some following, give us some subscription. You know, go check out some of the other ESG podcasts. They are out there for your love. All the details in the box below. So from Angrylink, it's
goodbye,
and for me, it's ciao.